he is. Oh, yeah. How many of you are in there?
I don't know. Only 2.
Okay. Say hello.
Hi, we're just finishing class, so I'm going to put you on silent at the moment. Okay? Thank you. Oh, pretty serious.
Okay. And no more. Yeah. Good, good. How you doing?
Well, yeah, we're enjoying our time
Cool.
here.
That's good. Hmm?
I said I miss you.
I miss you too. I guess you're going to be in Ottawa for Christmas, or?
Yeah. I might be in
Okay.
Montreal too.
Cool. I guess let me know. I'll be around.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Is this NTIP?
PSL, so we can see that. actually have enough of an internet connection there.
I didn't know are you coming here tomorrow? Yeah, I didn't know you were coming today. Okay, hi everyone, it's Lyle at KNET and so Lookout. Looks like we've got everyone on for the session today. I've got Kiwewan on their Cisco system.
Here's your jacket, I guess, is here, right? Who else is supposed to come?
Kim, Grace.
Do you want me to go run and get them?
Yeah, just let them know, but yeah, I guess you can. I've got Kiwewan, I've got Deer Lake, Fort Severn, Sachigo, Thunder Bay, Bombertown, North Spirit, and Poplar Hill. Can everyone hear and see everyone just fine?
Yeah.
Pretty well, yeah. Okay. The layout that I've got of this, do you want to make it so that everyone can see everyone? Like that. If that's okay for layout, when the site involved speaks or wants to put their presentation on the screen, they will show up in the biggest portion of the screen. So for those that haven't really used the video conferencing system in their school offices yet, you might want to mute your microphones. Your microphone's a triangular shaped thing on the table in front of you. If the light on it is red, it's on mute. If the light on it is green or not on, then it's wide open. So if your microphone is not red right now, please hit the button on it and it will turn red, and then everyone won't be able to hear paper shuffling and all that.
Thanks for setting everything up for us today, Lyle.
No problem. And it's exactly 4 o'clock, and it looks like we've got everyone at their places and that. And I did see that you're able to share your content, so you should be good to go there.
Yep.
So if that layout's fine, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm here for at least another half an hour. And then if you need support, I think someone has my cell phone number. You can get a hold of me on that.
Ask him for his cell.
Del. Okay, perfect.
We can't hear any volume.
Do a couple things.
Yeah, we haven't quite started yet. We're just getting settled here. We're waiting for everybody.
Okay.
So, thanks, John.
All right, hello everyone. It is really good to see various sites out there. We are going to begin with some introductions. And the first introduction I'd like to make, obviously my name's Desta Bazwa. I work for KO Board of Education, and we're really excited to be launching our very first Kobe NTIP class today. And we are going to be led throughout the NTIP process by Tracy Lindstrom, who is one of our colleagues from KPDSB. And I'm sure you've seen her name in some of my emails that I have sent out to you. You have been provided a book called The Spark, which is supplementary reading for the course. You have also been provided a rough agenda with November and December firm dates and who the participants are. You've been provided some PRISI documents which give an overview of the program, which outline some of the requirements of the NTIP process in order for you to receive your certification, your notation on your Ontario College of Teachers. So we're really happy to begin today. So I'm going to start with Tracy, and then we'll go round table here in Sulicout, and then we'll let the last person who introduces themselves at each site pick the next location. How about that?
Sounds fair to me. So good afternoon. I'm Tracy Lindstrom. I live in Kenora and work for the Q8 Patricia District School Board. I've worked with Michael for a number of years now, and so if you know Michael, he's a great guy, and we've done a few things together. So I welcome you, and we'll get into it a little bit more as we get going here.
I'm Jonathan Woolley. I'm the FNSSP coordinator for the board here in Bombertown.
You've already introduced yourself. I'm Linda Johnson. I'm the FNSSP for Kiwi Chinook Internet High School in Bombertown.
Hi, I'm Lauren Goring. I work in Bombertown as well. I teach co-op and business with the Internet High School.
Hi, I'm Rose Kakigamic. I'm the numeracy literacy lead with the Kobe here in Bombertown.
Hi, good evening. I'm Michael Bowes. I'm with Anishinaabe Husky Nation, and I'm involved in school leadership development and also an employee of the school board, Q8 Patricia District School Board.
Hi, I'm Adrian Lawrence. I'm principal and education coordinator for the North Spirit Lake First Nation Education Authority.
Hi, I'm Kirino Ragub. I'm the principal of Wasaho First Nation School in Fort Severn.
Where are we going next, Carino?
Next,
You know which community?
Fort Severn.
All right, Fort Severn, you're up.
Sorry. I'm Josh. I'm the grade 7A teacher here in Fort Severn.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I'm the spec ed teacher here in Fort Severn.
Hi, I'm Grace Lookwood. I'm the grade 5-6 teacher in Fort Severn.
Kim Pratt. I'm the grade 3-4 teacher in Fort Severn.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Kustajan. I work with KIHS.
And that's all.
Yeah, so where do we go next? Poplar Hill.
Poplar Hill.
Hi, I'm Monica. I'm the grade 1-2 teacher in Poplar Hill, obviously.
I'm Stephanie Mischinska. I'm the assessment lead for Kobe Board in the Balmertown office, but I'm visiting Poplar Hill right now.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm the 7-8 teacher here.
Hi, I'm Namoya Nanchengwa, and I'm the grade 5-6 teacher at Poplar Hill.
Who's the site?
Oh, we have to pick next.
Oh, that's Monica. Okay, that's Monica. Okay.
What are our options? Kiwewin.
Kiwewin.
Hi, Joni and Kiwewen, are you there? Okay, let's assume Joni is the blue screen, and she may join us shortly. Let's go on to North Spirit Lake.
Hi, my name is Monica, and I'm the spec ed teacher.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm the 7A teacher.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm the KHS teacher here.
Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm the grade 5-6 teacher at North Spirit.
Hi, I'm Jordan, the grade 3-4 teacher here.
Where to next?
We're gonna pick Deer Lake.
Hello. Can you guys see us?
I don't think, yeah.
Can you guys see us?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay. I'm Haley. I'm the grade 3 teacher.
I'm Brenton. I teach grade 9 English and phys ed.
I'm Adela. I teach 3rd grade.
I'm Miles. I teach grade 8 homeroom and grade 9 math to applied and academic.
I'm Kelly. I teach grade 4.
I'm Nikki. I teach grade 7.
I'm Dylan. I teach a lot of things.
I'm Sarah. I teach grade 5. Oh, sorry. I'm Joanna. I teach special ed.
Last one up. Can you pick?
Oh, who's left? Whoever's left. North Spirit? Did we do that one?
Joanna? I missed, who said, I'm teaching grade 7?
Nikki.
Nick? When you introduce yourselves that we can't see you, maybe next time you guys can, I don't know, form a U or something.
Oh, okay.
You missed my laugh. That's a link.
That's great. That's
Can you guys hear us now? Kiwewen?
Yeah, we can hear and see you now.
Oh.
Thank you. Turn it off so they're gonna hear you. Turn it off, and when you're speaking, you can turn it.
Alright, so my name is Ben Gallup. I'm the KIHS teacher in Kiwewen.
Yeah, my name is Joni. I'm a special education teacher in Kiwewen School. Can they hear?
Yeah, we can still hear you, so you can put your mic on mute now.
Okay, so I think that's it, right?
Satchel?
Thunder Bay?
Yeah, Sachigo already, yeah, Thunder Bay.
And Thunder Bay.
Hello, bonjour. My name is Anna-Marie Kakagame. I'm from Kingfisher Lake First Nation. I am the Kobe's First Nations Languages and Perspectives Lead.
Hey,
Hey.
So quiet. Oh, shh.
Okay. So I'm hoping the technology is going to work with us today, but I've been certainly in situations where it hasn't before, so hopefully we can get through it. Now, before I begin, our work today is on building relationships, and so I have a little presentation to go through that pulls together some pieces of ministry policy as well as philosophies and some of the things that we've done in Q8 and Patricia School Board and some of the things that we talk about in our NTIP program through Q8 and Patricia. And so if you've seen some of these things, or if you've seen like some of the video links, or if this is redundant for you, I apologize. I'm kind of flying blind because I'm not really sure what you've had before and what you haven't had before. So what you're going to get is a taste of what we would share with a normal first-year teacher. So they're just fresh out of university, first job, first LTO, so they may not have a whole lot of experience, whereas I know you guys have quite a bit more experience than some of our brand new teachers in our NTIP program. So I apologize if it's not as deep as you would like it to be, but hopefully you'll get something out of it, and we'll have discussion along the way. And if you need to interrupt to let us know, like if the technology is not working on your end, or if something is glitching or whatever, just feel free to interrupt. just jump in and let us know, because I would rather you have a good experience than a horrendous herky-jerky experience. So I think from there, I refer to lots of different resources. And so if there's ever something that I refer to that you want a copy of or you want more information on, just let me know, and then I can post those kinds of things into our Google Classroom. I haven't posted this presentation into the Google Classroom yet, but I can post it for you if you would like to use it later on. I don't know if there's anything here that you would want to review or whatever, but I can certainly do that. So I'm just going to take you through a couple of things just to kind of get started. And so I have to present first and then...
Yep, just start playing and then your screen will be shared.
Okay, so I'm going to start here.
Good to go.
Okay. So this is just an overview of the things that I'm going to try and touch on today to give you a little overview with. So we're going to start with Achieving Excellence, which is, it's a ministry document, and the ministry document, it's a renewed vision for education in Ontario, and it affects us all. It guides us, gives us our mission, and guides us, and it looks like it's difficult to read on the screen, but so this is the mission for the vision of education in Ontario, and it says, Ontario is committed to the success and well-being of every student and child. Learners in the province's education system will develop the knowledge, skills, and characteristics that will lead them to become personally successful, economically productive, and actively engaged citizens. Ontario will cultivate and continuously develop a high-quality teaching profession and strong leadership at all levels of the system. Our education system will be characterized by high expectations and success for all. It will be responsive, high quality, accessible, and integrated from early learning to early learning and childcare to adult education. And so when they were, oh, is the volume?
Changing. I live in a world where technology is everywhere. I can connect with a friend in another part of the globe just as easily as I can with a friend down the street. When I graduate high school, I will enter a world that is more competitive and connected than ever before. My education will prepare me for that world. My school will be a place where my friends and I can be successful, regardless of where we come from. A place where we are inspired to learn by engaging teachers using new technology. Our diversity will not be a barrier, but rather a reason for our success. We will develop the strength of character to overcome obstacles and be resilient, whatever comes our way. We will feel safe and welcome and know that our well-being is supported inside and outside of school. We will be the innovators, community builders, creators, skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and leaders of tomorrow. As an Ontario student, I will achieve excellence.
So that came from Student Voice and was a little overview of why they felt that they needed to update our goals. So in the past, we always had goals around increasing student achievement, closing the gaps for student achievement, and increasing public confidence. And so now we have these goals. So achieving excellence, which is still around student achievement. So children and students of all ages will achieve high levels of academic performance, acquire valuable skills, and demonstrate good citizenship. Educators will be supported in learning continuously, which NTIP is part of that, and will be recognized as the best in the world. Ensuring equity is goal number 2. All children and students will be inspired to reach their full potential, with access to rich learning experiences that begin at birth and continue into adulthood. This is our new goal, promoting well-being, and this is where building relationships really fits in. All children and students will develop enhanced mental and physical health and a positive sense of self and belonging and the skills to make positive choices. And then enhancing public confidence, once again, is another one of our goals. So Ontarians will continue to have confidence in a publicly funded education system that helps develop new generations of confident, capable, and caring citizens. So Sir Ken Robinson does quite a lot of speaking around education and shifting paradigms around education. And this is one of his quotes, and it quite speaks to me. And so I'd like to share it with you. And it says, to improve our schools, we have to humanize them and make education personal to every student and teacher in the system. Education is always about relationships. Great teachers are not just instructors and test administrators. They are mentors, coaches, motivators, and lifelong sources of inspiration to their students. And I'm going to share with you a little video about a guy that Michael knows quite well. And he went through our NTIP program, and this is Steve Demonsky, and he was featured on the National with the Hockey Academy program. Now, if you listen to what Steve says to the kids and how he talks about the kids, these are all the philosophies, beliefs, and values that we promote through our NTIP program. So hopefully you will feel that as you listen to Steve.
When you get a kid that's on that path that you're fearful of, and you can bring him back, and he's excited about it, that's why I'm here.
It's getting me out of trouble. It is. It's helping me. It's helping me on my hockey, my career. I'm hoping one day I'll be in the NHL, but yeah. I look at my grandkids and I kind of worry about, what direction they're going to take as they get older. I just find that the drug usage and the alcohol seems to be a big major problem in the area.
Sioux Lookout, northwestern Ontario. A town of 5,000 that isn't really close to anywhere. People here, they look north. In fact, they take pride on being a hub for the remote First Nations spread out across Ontario's boreal forest. And many of the kids from up there go to school here. Sioux Mountain Public. 340 kids in grades 1 to 8, and 85% of them are Aboriginal.
So remember, each person's going to do it 10 times, then you switch, and then each of
This is Steve Dumonsky's grade 8 class.
leave a little bit more space to try and work on those quick reflexes.
The class seems normal enough. Kids doing their work.
Last one. Put your hand right here, and then try and get less than 10. Try one more time.
But it's actually quite remarkable. Because until recently, a lot of kids at this school just didn't show up.
Oh, there you go. Nice 8. Okay, now switch. We have kids that, I have a few students this year, you're happy that they showed up that morning. You're happy when they walk through the door, whether maybe it's on time or it's at 10:30 in the morning. You're just happy that you seen them that day for how long it is. And I just try, when they come,
I know the students who are struggling to be here, so when they come, I just try to make them as comfortable as possible. You got 99 too?
The kids call Steve Dumonsky Mr. D. He grew up in northwestern Ontario, so he understands what living in one of the poorest and most troubled areas in the country can do to you.
The boys are over here in the woods getting high on marijuana or crack or whatever it might be. So that's reality. Some of the students, they're being sexually assaulted by family members, community members, people on the street. You know, I've had two students in the past try to commit suicide on a weekend. One tried to commit suicide right after school right here. I care about each one of these kids. I care about what happens to them after school, what happens to them during the school. So yeah, I take it personal. And when something happens bad, it hurts.
Drugs, alcohol, suicide, these are big problems, complicated ones. But the solution the school board has come up with is surprisingly simple. Get the kids playing hockey.
Around the cone! Around the cone! One more. Nice puck control. Good.
In fact, they made it part of the curriculum. Grades 1 to 6 skate once a week, grades 7 and 8 twice, during the school day. The kids don't pay a cent and they get brand new gear. There is a slight catch, of course. If you don't go to school or you don't do your work, you don't get on the ice. It's hard to believe a couple of hours of hockey makes a difference. But Steve tells me it's done exactly that with 13-year-old Jericho Crane.
Jericho Crane, yes. Yeah, Jericho. Trouble at the start of the year, right? He late all the time, wasn't coming to school regularly, getting in some trouble at school, out of school, hanging out with some older high school kids that were kind of leading them in the wrong direction.
I pulled Jericho out of class to ask him how the hockey program's helping him. What was school like for you before hockey?
I don't know, it's just I wouldn't listen and all that, just slack off, wouldn't do my work, just wouldn't want to even listen and all that. I mean, sometimes I can be like that, but not all the time.
And now?
Now I listen, do my work, and it's a privilege, not a right, so...
What is?
Hockey. Privilege, not a right.
That's what they tell you?
Yeah.
So it's that simple, just putting hockey in front of you and now you're more engaged in school.
I can't put it into words, it's just... I find it more easier having hockey in my life with school.
Sixth number is 52. Okay.
And Mr. D embodies both, the classroom and the rink. He's Jericho's teacher, but he also had a successful minor league career and came close to the NHL. With a role model like that, no wonder Jericho's working hard. If you didn't get hockey at school and didn't come to school, what do you think your future was going to be like?
I honestly don't know. I'd probably be out of school, being out there and just getting into other stuff, like bad stuff, mischief.
Trouble?
Yeah.
What's the trouble around here?
I don't know, like drugs and all that, they would keep me out of that. So, I'm so lucky I have hockey just to get me away from that stuff.
You want a sign that the hockey program's working? These days after school, Jericho's not wandering around getting into trouble. He's out here dreaming of making it. It's Thursday morning, 45 minutes before the bell rings, and already you see the evidence. Kids coming to school. At Sioux Mountain, there are more than 100 kids in the hockey program, and their attendance is up by 25%.
Just keep making your assignments there.
The Shakakiziks live across from the school, so they don't really have to leave until the bell rings. The kids, they're being raised by their grandmother Irene.
And their clothes are tight. They call me Mom, I'm not Grandma to them. Because I've had them since they were small, and yeah. So I'm not Grandma to them, I'm Mom.
How come?
Because I'm the mom that they've known, that's have raised them and looked after them. Yeah. They know who their biological mom is, my daughter, They know who she is, you know, but they still call me Mom. Shayla?
Irene had 4 kids of her own. Her daughter had addiction problems.
I guess it's safe to say that Sulakot and the First Nations all have, you know, there's a lot of drug and alcohol problems. That's one of the things that I really worry about my grandkids, especially with the problems that their mom had. It took a lot of tough love with my daughter. You know, and, you know, I wasn't ashamed. She went to the court system quite a bit, and that was because I called the OPP if I knew she was drinking. I'd rather have my daughter or any of my kids in jail rather than out and about not knowing where they're at. I don't think I would have loved her very much if I just let her go and get a call one day saying she's frozen outside.
So Irene has another chance with her grandchildren, and she's determined to keep them away from drugs and alcohol and in school.
Every Thursdays, we gotta go to hockey.
Do you look forward to that?
Skate around, do drills. It helps you. It helps your legs skate faster. I'm ready to dive in the water.
I look at my grandkids and I kind of worry about, you know, what direction they're going to take as they get older. Okay, let's go. So I'm kind of hoping with the hockey could be an incentive for them to keep in the sport there. Gotta go to the office, eh? Yeah. Wipe your feet. I want them to have a successful life.
That's how much the hockey program means to Irene, and really the whole town.
Okay, go.
You feel like you're getting better?
The rink, it hits me.
My birthday.
Happy birthday. 14?
I watch Steve with the kids on the ice, and sure, he's a coach and he's teaching them skills.
I know you can do it. I won't let you fall.
But he might also be filling a hole that goes well beyond sport.
Sometimes you do feel like a dad. I have kids that come and give me a hug every morning. My daughters don't do that. You know what I mean?
You can do it. Keep going. I won't let you fall, I promise. Okay?
I try to have a connection with them, joke around with them, lay the hammer down when I have to.
And with Jericho, it's really worked.
When you get a kid that's on that path that you're fearful of, and you can bring him back, and he's excited about it, that's why I'm here.
Alright, so let's get our stuff off quickly. Upstairs when you're done.
The ultimate goal of the hockey program, though the kids might not really know this, isn't to make them into hockey players, but to get them to graduate. Where do you live? This in a region with some of the lowest graduation rates in the country.
If I graduate high school, I'll be the first one in my family to graduate high school.
What's it like to say that? What do you think of that? Would that make you proud?
Yeah, man. That is kind of... Okay. I do graduate. I'm proud. Okay. What? Come to think of it, yeah. It is kind of exciting.
When I get set to leave Sioux Lookout, there's Jericho, in front of the school practicing his moves. These days, he keeps an orange ball in his pocket at all times. Nick Purden, CBC News, Sioux Lookout, Northwestern Ontario.
Can I stop sharing the screen for a minute so we can have a discussion?
Just quick stop.
Okay. Oh, I didn't click it.
Nope.
Thank you. So I'm thinking that it'd be a nice place to kind of stop and take a minute to collect our thoughts and think about something that maybe is resonating with you or something that you're connecting to, either through the video or through some of the quotes or some of the policies that have been shared. And just at your site, if you have somebody to talk to, hopefully you do, just have a little conversation around what's standing out to you around the importance of relationships through some of this work. And I'm going to go around to the sites in about 5 minutes after you have a quick little discussion, and then we'll share back with the larger group if that's okay.
Hi there, Kiweiwin. I am wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing some of the points that stood out to you from the video.
Can you hear us now? Okay. One thing we were talking about is, I mean, it looks like a great idea, but it's probably easier getting like nice equipment and a nice hockey rink and all that in Sioux Lookout than it is in remote flying communities. And I personally, I've tried looking into getting like fitness equipment and stuff up here, but it's not as easy as I initially was sort of led to believe that it would be. So I'd be really interested to find out ways of like getting equipment and stuff like that, because there really isn't much to go with here. Did you have anything to add, Joni?
Yeah, you said the same thing.
Okay, so that's the main thing. Like, it sounds like a really, really good idea. It's just we're not really sure how to get started on it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Ben. And certainly the whole topic of how to engage students outside of the classroom has many different approaches. In Kiweiwin, it may be this time of year, maybe going out and looking at, you know, certain environmental changes to the land. You might, if you're lucky, get a last round of fishing in before freeze up. So there's certainly a lot of different approaches to how to engage students. North Spirit Lake, would you like to share some of your perspectives?
Hi, so yeah, we talked about the video as well, and we brought up a lot of great points. People said some things. So one of the things that was talked about was how it was nice. It was a nice reminder, the video, to just focus on the connections that you are able to make with students, and when you do get those breakthroughs, because sometimes it's easy to think and focus on the students that you haven't exactly found that point of connection with. And we also talked about, like, at our school, not so much KHS, but for Victoria Linklater, they have a great breakfast program, and the teachers were talking about how that's a great time for them to just meet the students, talk with them, just some great, like, out-of-class time. I don't know other schools what it's like, but they have flexible recess time, so that's really good as well, because, again, they can change things up, there's more flexibility, and I think the video was really emphasizing, you know, meeting students, engaging them where they're at, and also, one thing that was great about the video was he was using his strengths, right? He was like a hockey player, so he was drawing on that to engage students. So I guess that's one thing that we could all think about too, like what are our skills and how can we try to reach out to our students. Did I miss anything? No? Okay.
Okay, thanks for sharing that, North Spirit Lake. Certainly breakfast, especially bacon, is a hook for anyone except vegetarians. Sorry, no offense. So Deer Lake, would you like to share some perspectives since you're so nice and up close and personal there?
Yeah. Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay.
they can hear you.
Well, first, before I forget, I believe his name was Ben in the blue shirt from Kiweiwin. In response to the hockey gear comment, I too was in that position last year, trying to secure gear, funding, and things like that. So I got very busy on my email, just trying to put feelers out there to different companies and stuff. And fortunately, I was able to contact one company that gave us heavily discounted jerseys in return for sponsorship on the back of the jerseys. We were the worst team at the tournament by far, but probably the best dressed, which was nice. And in addition to that, what was I going to say? Go after the banks. Send emails to like Scotiabank and stuff like that. They'll put your request, if it is for gear, in the hands of somebody with a title. Let's say it's First Nations Spending Coordinator or something like that. Just before I forget, I wanted to mention that to Ben. in relation to the video, we here in Deer Lake, all the teachers in this room have done a really good job of making themselves available for extracurricular activities. Our gym is like it's like a hub, yeah, it's basically like its own community center. On a nightly basis, there's floor hockey, badminton club. Recently, a few of our teachers just started up a book fair, which draws a lot of parents and children into the school, which I guess sort of reinforces the importance of school, since, you know, the parents actually come with the kids to find the books and things like that. We also are pretty versatile in our extracurriculars. A couple of our teachers here are expert musicians, and they've started a ukulele club. So here, not only do we want to do a lot of extracurricular things, but our principal has made us accountable. And what he's done is, at the beginning of the year, he actually, I wouldn't say forces us, but for lack of a better term, he ensures that we all do our part in extracurricular activities. And in that regard, Stefan, our principal, has done a really good job of trying to boost participation in extracurriculars and stuff like that. So anyways, without rambling on too much, one takeaway from the video was definitely the importance of extracurriculars. I know that in my own experience with the boys hockey team here, whenever, you know, I talk to them and ask them, you know, what do kids do on a Saturday or a Sunday if they're not really into playing hockey or whatever else we do in the gym? And their response is something to the effect of, I don't know, game, sleep. So, you know, trying to boost extracurriculars, get the kids active and motivated is definitely something in Deer Lake that we place priority on. Thank you.
I love the round of applause you got from your colleagues there. That's awesome. I just also wanted to point out on the note of the ukulele club, I sent out an email to your principals this week or last week that there's a $10,000 grant that your schools can apply for music equipment through Music Counts. So for all those aspiring musicians out there and whatnot, maybe talk to your principals. It's a good avenue. Let's go to Sachigo Lake next, please. Okay, well, we'll wait for Simon for next round. How about Poplar Hill?
Okay, hi there. So going off of the, I guess, extracurriculars or after-school activities, our school has been really good. We have new facilities and a large gym, so we've had a lot of after-school programming, and we get a lot of participation from the students. And then now, to add to that, is outside of the school, Right to Play, which is also an organization that does after-school programming, is in using the school. And their first real start was this week. And even yesterday I noticed that it's really having our after-school program plus the Right to Play, so the kids are in programming until 6:30 at night some days, really keeps them out of the streets and away from our doors. Last night the community was silent in the evening because the kids had just been in programming all day after school, so that was really great to see. And then in terms of the videos and things like that, what really sort of stuck out to us was the promoting well-being, which is something that, you know, is something that we're dealing with in Poplar Hill, and how trying to figure out how to keep our students in the classroom and, you know, their mental health in a good spot or in the best place that it can be. And just sort of, we see some gaps in, this is a goal of Ontario, but yet these schools, we don't have mental health counselors or, you know, mental health workers who are in the community that the kids can reach out to anytime. And what we would really like to see happen in Poplar Hill is some sort of in-school counselor that is here permanently to sort of help deal with some of the issues that we face as a community. And that's it. That's all. Thanks.
Thanks, Poplar Hill. For sure, the whole, all the needs surrounding mental wellness are very, predominant in our communities as they are in our region. So we're really taking note of your comments with regards to that within COBE, and we're really hoping for some announcements in the near future for mental wellness workers to come to the community schools. Fort Severn?
Hi, I'm the spokesperson for this group. Just kidding. What really stood out in that video is what really caught my eye is when he said, be happy when the students show up because it's a struggle to come to school. I think that rings so true. And part of it with the video, I was writing down notes here about the physical activities. I think it gives students the opportunity, it provides them that emotional and physical support, and it gives them that stability. It changes their state of mind, it changes their attitude, their outlook, and the positive personalities come out. And when their well-being is looked after, they're more efficient. And as for building relationship through sports, I think that is a real good opportunity for students to have. Because last year, a group, Florence, which is a classroom assistant here, made up a team, a broomball, where she had young girls participate and form a broomball team. They fundraise for their equipment, they fundraise for their jerseys, and they attended a tournament in Salcott the first time this year. So it developed their sense of worth, their team building, and because the grade 7 and 8 students and some of the high school age were active participants in there. So with the broom ball, it carried out from, even though my daughter's not here, she was the active participant, she's in the FC now, she continued that sense of accomplishment that she had through broom ball. Now she's extending her skills. So that's all I had.
Thank you, Fort Severn. I am really glad that you brought up broom ball because certainly it's a favorite sport in our communities, that's for sure.
Is that everyone? Yeah. Okay. So there were some very excellent points made there, and just so you're aware, the jerseys that we got came through the Jumpstart program, which is affiliated with Canadian Tire. So that's a place to go for some funds as well. And on the arts scene, I do a lot of work with the Ontario Arts Council, and they give away tons of grants during the year. And some of them are specifically for like an artist in residence kind of program where you bring an artist into your school to work along with kids. But they do have lots of other grants available around like if you wanted to purchase deer hides and do different things with those and make crafts and drums and things, and they do have grants that will give you funds towards those kinds of things as well. You just have to watch the deadlines, but they've got a whole booklet of them. So I can share that with you, the granting.
OAS?
OAC.
OAC.
Maybe you could just post it right on our classroom site, then everyone can have access to it.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of what you're speaking about and speaking to is connectedness to school. And connectedness to school is one of the best protective factors for kids. And so when kids are more connected to school, they are less likely to binge drink, they are less likely to use drugs, they are less likely to have suicidal ideation, and they are more likely to be well through and after school. So it's really a huge thing, this whole connectedness. And in connectedness, you're looking at relationships within the school, you're looking at kids who feel like they belong, feel like they contribute, and so the whole piece around being connected is very, very important. No, I don't want that. we can get past this. Okay, and so I heard some questions about how do we fit this all in with curriculum, and you know, curriculum has its important places, but when we're looking at building relationships and putting kids first, I really believe in the Learning for All document. When I work with teachers in our board, I always say that the Learning for All document and the Growing Success document are your two Bibles, because they're about getting to know where your kids are at and working forward from there with your kids. And then the curriculum is kind of, it's a way to, it's a how are you going to get there? It's not the be all and the end all that the personal connection is with the kids. So through Learning for All, we have some shared beliefs that come through Learning for All. So curriculum is knowing our students through assessment and relationships so that we can best plan our instruction and maximize our student achievement. And the shared beliefs that are listed in the front of Learning for All on page 7 state our shared beliefs are that all students can succeed, that each student has his or her own unique patterns of learning. Successful instructional practices are founded on evidence-based research tempered by experience. Universal design and differentiated instruction are effective and interconnected means of meeting the learning or productivity needs of any group of students. Classroom teachers are the key educators for a student's literacy and numeracy development. Classroom teachers need the support of the larger community to create a learning environment that supports all students, and fairness is not sameness. So when I read through these, I always, when I'm working with the younger teachers, we talk about all students can succeed and what does that look like, and that success comes in many forms. And so success for some of those kids that we just saw in that video may be that they're coming to school every day. Success may be that they are alive today, and you know, if there's been a tragedy or something happen in their lives. Success may be that they aced a test, but acing a test isn't the only way to show success. So we need to build schools and classrooms as safe and welcoming places to learn. And so some of the key elements around building those safe and welcoming places to learn are that we do have to have high academic and personal expectations. So the moment we lower and say, you know, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, the kids sort of slide and say, okay, well, he doesn't think much of me, or she doesn't think much of me, or he doesn't believe in me. It's that whole belief piece. So we keep our expectations high in order to ensure that kids know that we believe that they can be successful. They need engaging academic work, differentiated instruction to meet varied needs, clear and consistent behavioral expectations, individualized caring support when needed, flexibility and accommodations when needed, and recognition for student progress. And so you're going to hear now Dr. Bruce Ferguson speak, and Dr. Ferguson works at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. He's a child psychologist. He works with our mental health lead in Kenora, and he works with mental health leads all across the province. And he is a guru with mental health, and he is known internationally and has done all kinds of work, and he is very big on belonging and connectedness and resiliency in kids. So you're going to hear him speak about that.
I think teachers need to remember that the way society is structured today with a lot of nuclear families, that teachers are the most important, consistent adult in children's lives other than their parents. So children will learn how adults regard them from how teachers treat them. In the same way, within the school, children will learn from how the school treats them, how all institutions in society will treat them. So, given that that's the case, it's incredibly important that both the teacher, the classroom, and the school be a warm, caring, and welcoming environment. Well, you have to think about what are the ways that a child would know that they belong in the school and in the classroom, and that the adult cares about them. So the first thing I would have in mind is, if I were teaching children, I would greet them at the door every day, and I would say, "Good morning, Bruce, how are you? Welcome to school. I hope we're going to have a great day." And in doing that, what the teacher is conveying is, this is your school, I'm here to help you, and we're going to have fun, right? Then once all the children are in the classroom, I think you need every day to take some time just to scan them all to make sure that they all seem okay and that they're actually ready to start. In fact, you could ask them, are we really ready to start now? That's the kind of thing that makes them feel heard, makes them feel that somebody sees them. And those are the kind of keys that we use as adults when we welcome one another. We pay attention to one another. And that's what the kids need too. They need to feel that we're paying attention to them.
So Dr. Ferguson would also talk about what do all students need at school, and he would further go, what do all adults need at school as well, so that we feel we belong. And so we all need a warm welcome, we all need a smile, a connection to a caring adult every day, a chance to learn, a safe place to take a risk, someone who notices when something is wrong, someone who reaches out when they notice something is wrong, someone who listens and tries to find help for them, and someone who believes in them and instills hope.
That's the number of children in the United States from ages 0 to 18. 80 million. 80 million gems waiting to blossom, to bloom, to be engaged, to be seen, to be known, to be put into play. 80 million gems. What's our vision for America's kids? Well, you know what? We hardly ever talk about it. Is the vision to keep them safe? Is the vision to keep them out of trouble? Is the vision to keep them in school? Those are all management and control ideas. Not very compelling. What is our vision for America's kids? So, because I love to go around and interview people, it's about everywhere I am in the world, particularly in the United States, I do like to ask adults, what is your highest aspiration for our young? Some interesting things happen. No one has ever said, oh, this child of mine, my fondest wish is that they will ace statewide benchmark math and science tests when they're 16. I've never heard anybody say, oh, my fondest wish is that this young person will help make America more competitive in the global economy. No, when you actually listen to people's statements about their dreams for our kids, you hear a very different language. Kids who experience joy. Kids who are connected and engaged. Kids who fall in love with their life and all of life. Kids with kindness and generosity. Kids who are happy. Kids who contribute. That, my friends, is the language of human thriving. And it's the language of quality, isn't it? Not the language of quantity. Kids of joy, happiness, connection, engagement, fulfillment, kindness, compassion, generosity. The language of thriving. Here's something we know now based on a series of scientific studies, that only 1/4 of the 80 million, 1/4 of kids when they become high school students are on a pathway to human thriving. The other 3/4 have fallen off that path. It's no longer about purpose and hope and connectedness and engagement and joy, but it's about being alone. It's about being empty. It's about being medicated. It's about being confused. And it's about being lost. Only a quarter of America's teenagers stay on a pathway to human thriving. And I think I know why this happens. There's probably a lot of reasons, of course, but here's one key one. About 2,000 years ago, Plutarch, a Greek philosopher, I forget what his first name is, Frank, I think it was Frank Plutarch, Plutarch gave us one of the key axioms of human development, and that is that youth are not vessels to be filled, but fires to be lit. Fires to be lit. What he's talking about and what we know in human development is that the best of development is from the inside out, not the outside in. In this nation, we've forgotten that by and large, and we do an awful lot of development, don't we, from the outside in. Fill the empty vessel with information, factoid, idea, ideals, values, expectations, and demands. Some of that's okay. But the real question of human development is letting this emerge in life. And what is this? What is this fire? The core idea in human thriving is the identification of that fire, that inner light, that human spark. I've been working in this space now for about 10 years. My team of scientists and I at Search Institute have been creating a science of human thriving with a particular eye to children and teenagers. Thriving begins with the idea of the human spark. It's the metaphor I use to define that animating engine, that thing about a young person that gives them joy and energy, the reason why some will seek to actually get up in the morning and get moving, something that gives their life hope and direction and purpose. Spark, by the way, is very akin to the idea of spirit. Spirit is from the Latin spiritus, and you know what that means? My breath. My breath put into the world with vigor and courage. My breath. It's the ultimate question to ask each other, and particularly to ask our young. What is your breath? What is your spark? You in the audience, mostly adults, you know what life is like when spark is alive, when you can name and claim some animating energy, some capacity that gives your life direction, hope, and purpose. You know what life is like with spark, and we also know what it's like when spark dies. We know what that emptiness feels like. We've conducted a series of national representative sample studies in the last few years, numbering 6,000 or 7,000 middle school and high school kids, to inquire about their spark and the biography of their spark, and does anybody know, and does anybody care, and does anybody actually nourish this spark? The question, the initial question goes something like, tell me what it is about you that gives you joy and energy. What's going on in those moments when life feels the richest and the fullest with purpose and hope? What is your spark? I'm dying to know. Let me tell you some things that are incredibly fascinating about America's young people. 100% of middle school and high school students get the idea of spark in a heartbeat. They may not have used that word before, but once we tee it up, they know what it is we're talking about. And they'll oftentimes interrupt the interviewer and say, I know what that is. I know what that feels like. I know what it looks like. I could walk you into the cafeteria of my high school, and I could point out the kids with spark and the kids without. You can see it in the face, and you can see it in the body posture. 100% of kids get it. And then they say this: nobody's ever asked me this before. You really want to know what my spark is? Usually social scientists come in and they want to know about our drug use, our sexuality, our predilection to violence, our approach to school. Nobody has ever asked me to define my spark. 100% get it. 2/3 of America's young people can name at least one spark. A few can name two, and a few can name three. But 2/3 can quickly name one. Interesting that another 20% or so can name their spark with a little nudge from a caring adult, a counselor, a teacher, a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, a youth program worker. And pull it out of you. What is it about you that gives you joy and energy and animates your life? There's 3 kinds of sparks as young people define them. For some kids, it's a skill or a talent. I love to make music. That's when life is the best. I love to draw. I love to write. I love to lead. I love to study archaeology. For some kids, it's a commitment. My spark. Surprising how many kids say my spark is social justice. My spark is a commitment to the stewardship of the earth. Some kids, the 3rd category, it's a quality. My spark, I'm a person of empathy. That's what I do. That's when life is the best. I'm the one other people go to listen to them. Awesome. First of all, right here, if you ever discover and name a kid's spark, say it back to them. Tell them you see it and hear it. Thank them for possessing it. Because the spark, in almost all cases, is good and beautiful and useful to the world. But we never talk to our kids about seeing the human spark. There are at least 220 kinds of sparks that we have now categorized in America. Here's something I wish for every city we come from, that at some point there would be a census of the sparks of our kids, and that census would flood the media to put the story out into our cities about the rich ways that kids define their human spark. It gives us a whole nother lens. It draws us toward them rather than the images we have now of our kids, which is so often things that frighten us and push us away. Here are some of the leading categories of sparks: helping, serving, and volunteering, leading, learning a particular subject matter like archaeology, physics, French, service to the globe, that is stewardship of the earth, the preservation of the natural world, athletics, and the creative life. And the winner in all these categories is the creative life. Art, music, drama, dance, movement is the largest category in which sparks fall for America's kids. Interesting. That's the arena in which most kids say, I'm my best self. That's the arena in which most kids will say, this is where life is the fullest and the most hopeful. How are we doing in America in supporting art, music, drama, dance, movement? It's not that we want all those kids to necessarily become professionals in that field. It's about right now. Human development is about today. It's about how I awaken, how I am seen, how I am known, and how I am embraced. Have I mentioned my grandson Ryder yet? Ryder's 7 now, but when he was 4, he taught us a very important thing about the human spark. He reminded us that the spark is not necessarily the same thing as the work you do. So Ryder was on our deck. He says, you know what? As he's holding up this hand, I am an artist. I don't know if it's the work I will do someday, but I am an artist. I am. Spark is a life orientation. It's an approach. It's a way of being present in the world. It may touch work. It may be work. It may be outside of work. It's not the same thing as vocational planning. It's about nurturing and naming what is in here. This mom is Leah Adler. Her son, when her son was 8, this is a story, by the way, that spark is not always pretty. When her son was 8, he cut off the head of a doll, put it on a plate of lettuce, brought it into his mother in the family room and said, isn't this cool? Doesn't this look great? When he was 12, he boiled a pot of water, put 6 cans of unopened cherries in it, waited for them to explode, and then filmed the cherries and the juice rolling down the walls of that kitchen. Now, most parents, what would we be doing? Seeking professional help, thinking of reform school. Not Leah Adler. She's the mother of Steven Spielberg. And she cut him some slack, didn't she? She went with it. She went with the flow. Well, the real problem in America, the real challenge is this issue of spark. No one's asked me. Nobody knows what my spark is. It happens over and over and over again. You ever heard a kid say, see me? You never see me. What are they saying? It isn't about the external, is it? It's about see what I'm bringing to the human party. Thriving requires more than spark. We've worked to develop a scientifically grounded model of human thriving that is spark plus 3 spark champions, preferably somebody in family and school and in community who is a spark champion. They see it in you. They name it. They affirm it. They run interference. They find you opportunities. They talk about you and your human spark. And then the critical nature of opportunity to express the spark. Great things happen, my friends, when kids experience these 3 ingredients. And the science is really profound. Spark plus champions plus opportunity, school success skyrockets. Engagement in school skyrockets. Compassion for others rises. A sense of purpose rises. Violence decreases. How could it be otherwise? We're talking about the process of human thriving in the world. And now here is where it falls apart. Do kids have 3 champions? Not very often. Barely 1/2 of our kids in America say their family knows and nourishes the spark. Only 1/3 say anybody in their school names, knows, and nourishes the spark. And in the broader community of congregations, synagogue, youth programs, playgrounds, and neighborhood, only 1/4 of kids say anybody knows my spark. And then there's the opportunity gap. That's huge. The mismatch between how kids name spark, particularly in the creative life, and the opportunities for that to be nourished in community. There's an anthem for this idea of human thriving. This is Cyclone Fence, looking out on a baseball diamond. The anthem is by John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival. It goes something like, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. That word today is critical. Not tomorrow, but today. I want to be in there today. I am a leader. Put me in. I am a helper. Put me in. Know me. I am a giver. I am a protector of the world. Know me and put me in. You shall know them by their sparks probably ought to be the most significant mantra and mandate for all of us in the world. And you shall know them by their sparks. I, as a developmental scientist, am amazed at how easily we forget about how young people bring to our world a special capacity or gift that our world desperately needs, and we so easily snuff it out. And as a citizen, I am amazed how rarely we remember that innovation largely comes from the inside out, not the outside in. There's a bunch of things I do now to change and transform how we do business in America. I would make knowing kids' sparks at the very center of school life. In fact, I'd put it right at the front. I don't know how you can engage and connect and bond kids to the institution called school without knowing their spark. I would teach families the process of the spark dialogue and how to name, affirm, and be champion. I'd make the first parent-teacher conference of the year to be about the spark of a kid. Let's talk that through, and we'll get to the rest of the stuff. I would do a census in cities about sparks and put it out into the ether of community. And then I would map our after-school programs against sparks and begin to realign opportunity with the expression of spark. My friends, this is really important stuff in the annals of development. As you drive home tonight, I wish you would reflect some on your own spark biography. Get used to that vocabulary and discourse. What is your spark? What was it? What was it when you were 16? What was it when you were 26 and 36? Did it change? Did it mutate? Is it the same? Because in dialogue with kids, they're going to want to know, tell me your spark. They're going to turn the tables back on you. When you get home tonight, if you have a partner, a spouse, practice the spark dialogue. What is your spark? Who knows it? How can I help? Where do you express it? What gets in your way? What is your spark? And then tomorrow, find a young person in your family or somebody else's family and start the process. What is your spark? I am dying to know. We've got this power, my friends, in America, if we could mobilize our people to see differently, to know differently, and as we do that, we move toward our young rather than away from them. Thank you very, very much.
So Peter Benson, who was the speaker there, he's passed away about a year or so ago. He was the head of what was called the Search Institute, and I was brought into the fold with the Search Institute and their work through Dr. Stuart Shanker, who does a lot of work around self-regulation in kids and knowing what stressors are in kids and how do you calm the stressor, take the stressor away so that the kids can function better in the classroom. And so through the Search Institute, they have done a lot of work around the what they call developmental assets, and they have different checklists and things like that. So I'll share that website with you as well, in addition to this. And if you continue on with the presentation, so I'll post the presentation, and if you feel so moved as to watch the end of it, it'll take you through some different documents. So for high school teachers, it'll take you through the Pathways document and providing kids with hope, getting an understanding for who kids are and that whole piece of the Pathways document. And it'll take you into a little bit more around building relationships with Dr. Ferguson, who also refers to the Search Institute developmental assets, and there's a piece around that there. So there's a couple of connections there for you. So I'm going to just kind of close it off there and leave it there, but there is still quite a bit on the presentation if you would like to go through it yourself. There's different little videos and things like that, so I'll make that available. I'll post those couple of things. And I also am going to, I want to post like a class list kind of thing. And I'm also going to post my information. So if any of you have not heard from a mentor yet, if you could let me know right away so that I can make that happen, I would appreciate that. And then two, if there's anything that was sparked today for you that you'd like to know a little bit more about, or you want some resources or information or someone to connect with, just drop me an email and let me know that too, and I'll be happy to make that connection as well.
Can I add some things? Okay. And also, we have had a couple emails from mentors that have said they haven't heard back from their mentees. So if you could likewise, please make sure you're checking your EDU accounts so that you're responding to your mentee. So in the following communities, in North Spirit Lake, Carly is a tech lead who can assist you in North Spirit if you need. Caitlin? Okay. If you need any assistance with accessing your EDU email. And then in Deer Lake, it's Sarah. And then in Port Severn, it's Joshua. So if you need any assistance in that way. In Poplar Hill, it is Melissa Major, and in Keewaywin, it's your probably best bet is to contact Katie in Keewaywin. So please, can you just raise your hand? You have communicated with your mentor already by email or phone. Just raise your hand. Looking at all the sites. See a couple hands, not so many. All right. Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll get there. The other thing I want to mention, 3 weeks from today is our next video conference. Your principals will be at that session. So, Brenton, you may want to take note of that when you're making comment about Stefan. Joking. Okay. And then also I'd like to tell you that Lyle Johnson will post today's recorded session onto our Kobe NTIP classroom site. So if you could please let Dora and Melissa know that. Those are the only two people that are absent from today's session. And also, are all the mentor-mentee pairings complete now?
I think so.
Okay, very good. I'm so happy about that.
I think so. I'll make sure that gets on the...
Oh, hello, from Deer Lake. Hi. I don't think I have a mentor. I'm Nikki. Nikki does not have a mentor, she said. Okay.
Yeah, so
20 minutes ago, the Google Docs said I still didn't have a mentor.
Okay. Thank you for that very timely update, Nikki. We are on it. We're going to get you a mentor. Yeah. And also, I just want to point out, I did have one principal mention today to me that he is going to be beginning the teacher performance appraisals earlier than was suggested in the guideline that was given out to you on the Kobe NTIP classroom schedule. Those dates that are on the memo were just suggested guidelines. So you may have some principals that decide, you know what, I want to do my TPAs in December and February. You may have some principals that say January and April. It's up to the discretion of your principals. However, our next session, which is 3 weeks from tonight, will be surrounding TPAs. Another thing I want to mention is I am sending back the OCT poster series sets that you will need for our next session with your principals tomorrow. So they'll hand out a copy to every teacher that is participating with NTIP.
And I'm actually going to put it out there. If you would like to request of your mentor to join us on that video conference. You are more than welcome to do that, and if they do decide that they would like to join us, I'll make sure that they have video conference sites set up. But you have to do the inviting.
Done?
So that, yeah.
All right, so my final comment would be that we would not be doing the NTIP program this year if it wasn't for COBE and KPDSB partnership. We're very thankful to Tracy for her time. She lives in Kenora, so she'll be whipping down the highway tonight, heading home to her little guys at home. And we're really thankful. We're really thankful for that, Tracy. So appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you, Fort Severn. We know it's so late over there. Carino is enjoying a different time zone at the moment. Okay, good night, everyone. Email Tracy or I if you have any questions about your mentor-mentee pairings.
Absolutely.
So cute. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Bye, all.